Hello Tubesters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Today we are, as he tries to gingerly stretch over his desk without knocking everything flying, we're on Military Modeller Paul's Remembrance stroke Armistice Day group build. Poppies. I've been calling it Remembrance Day. I've heard Greg call it Armistice Day. As in the name of the group build, I'm not sure which. We've all got good intentions, and that's what counts. Paul, Military Modeller Paul, fantastic builder. I'll put a link hopefully to his channel. I think I forgot last time. Go and check him out because he's a cracking builder and a really nice bloke. So go and check him out, please, because he deserves more subs than he's got, definitely. So this is my second entry. The first one, I'm not going to confuse matters showing you the first one, but there is progress. The rider's got his arms on at last. I've kept the sword. I'm giving you an update on the first one, aren't I? Let's forget that bit. But the first one's crawling along, let's put it that way. But this is the second entry. So actually I'm just going to hold it up then. And what's the point? Because I'm about to show you at the desk. I've got a really cramped desk at the moment, and something's got to change because it's getting ridiculous. So I've got to clear everything off and try and make some space. But join me down at the bench. As I say, the idea of this is it's the from the wargaming, the huge wargaming show in London called Salute. They do a gift bag. I've never been, but they do a gift bag with, they usually have a figure of some description. That they have a theme every year, and this particular one was obviously 100 years from 1918 to 2018, and it was a three-figure set, I believe, sculpted by Alan Perry, and from the obviously Perry Miniatures, and it's a Tommy, a French infantryman, and a German infantryman, and they're all sharing a drink. It's the end of the war, and they've made it through. So the idea was, I'd had this idea, my good friend Mick from the MGH 1736 channel, he actually passed these on to me back in 2018, I believe, and I'd always had this plan to either do some form of small bunker behind them and drop the figures in, and hopefully this is what we've achieved. The figures aren't in there yet, but we've got a big step forward to getting the whole little, or the mini project completed. So join me down at the bench and we'll take a look. Right guys, thanks for joining me at the bench. I do apologise the condition it's in. I've been making some of those woodland scenic plaster mould rocks, and it's everywhere. Right, this is what we've got so far. Can we move that back? No, move the camera back. I decided to go for a camouflage theme like the German helmets. I've seen, and I've got to say, obviously black and white photographs. I've not seen any of these actually camouflaged, painted camouflaged, but I have seen like artists work with them camouflaged, and I presume they must have seen them, I take it. So I'm out on the wing on that one a bit, but I do believe they were camouflaged. The Great War was a time of all sides trying to camouflage ships, obviously aircraft, tanks, you name it, helmets in the Germans' case. So that's what I've gone for. They would, these are the rough colours they'd use. Obviously it just came, depending what came out the tin really, but they'd always seem to have a black line, or majority of the time have a black line demarcating the camouflage itself. As you've seen, if you'd seen the previous video, it's made out of blue foam, which is ideal for making all the... Let me see if we can get that. I might just hold that up, actually, it might be easier. You can obviously go to town, chobbling pieces out, see the facades falling away there where it was painted, and it's got raw concrete underneath. We've got the embosses, never know how to say that, but for machine gun and rifle emplacement there. We've got one there, you can't see them particularly well with the beat up, and there's actually a couple of ports here. There's a This is a work in progress still, by the way. The entrance would have been down here. The front's fallen in a fair bit with the pounding it's taken. This would be solid concrete here, maybe with another, I haven't put one in, but maybe another let's call it a slit, a rifle slit there. This is the back of the bunker. Obviously the front would be out a lot farther. This is just the back. Artistic license in scale. This would be obviously deeper, although I have seen them at these type of revetments that go into the back, literally only being, chest height, although mine isn't. Look if it goes up to the waists. But it was just really, without going to, hollowing much more out, I just had to say, right, well, that's what it's supposed to be. It just protects the rear of the bunker a bit. I've added a few bits in. They're not finished yet. Tried to make a bit of a crate up there. That's got to be painted better yet. It's all had lots of different washes slopped over them everywhere, as you can see. We've done a bit of a respirator there, stroke gas mask. That's got to be... I've washed over that, but it needs to be painted a bit better just to make it stand out more. I've tried a machine gun belt, and that's only had a bit of paint on it yet. It's not had no brass work on, but I'm going to maybe do another couple of those lying around. It's not going to be overly... I don't want to make it too overly complicated, only because it's there as a backdrop, really, just for the three figures. I don't want the figures to be lost in a mini scale model, if that makes sense. So I've done a fairly simplistic duck boards for the walking on. Figures will be roughly in here somewhere. There'll be a bit more putty in that around the base just to gel it in more. These are supposed to be, as it's a German trench. I've got a cracking book on trenches of the Great War by the Imperial War Museum, and I will probably have a quick flick through that at the reveal at stage at this, in case any of you guys want to get it. But the Germans would seem to often, if they could, maybe they got better material, get their hands on it, but these would be branches interwoven. I couldn't waste my lead wire, to be honest with you. It probably could have done with lead wire. I could have got them properly done, tighter and whatever. But they'd be hacked, all the branches would be hacked off, so they'd be smooth more or less. Obviously they're probably from pollarded trees, so they'd be fairly straight anyway. But that's what that is anyway. That's supposed to be branches. It's just florist wire. These sandbags, they're not brilliant. They will have a bit of... I'm going to put some bit of splash effects, mud effects in there as well, just to show them opened up. I've tried making a helmet that's seen better days. The bolt's slightly big on it really at the side, but it's got a bit of shrapnel holes in it and stuff. It's just an old helmet. I've been putting florist wire in as well for Rio bar, reinforcing bar. Got a bit of a metal shutter or whatever that they've put half over the door that's obviously bust off in the shelling. Rio bar again going through, not overly loads of it type of thing. Another slit here for firing out of. Another one at the bottom. I've done the sides. I was undecided. I was just going to do the front and the top, but I thought no, let's just give it a bit more context if I make the sides of the bunker as well. Again, some more rear bar there. And I don't know if we can find it. Yeah, I think that's it there. I did there's a dud that's not actually gone off and just splattered into the side, but not actually exploded. But yeah, it's been a fun little project. This, this stuff's quite easy to work with. Yeah, this isn't particularly pretty, but I'm not really fussed. It's just there as a. It was nice to get the figures worked on after all this time. Mickey gave them me ages ago, so it was nice to do that. So figure wise, they're still a work in progress, as we can see. I've got a while to go on them yet. But we're getting there. another couple of goes at them, and leaving all the flesh, the faces and that's just so I can do them all in one go. But they still need, obviously there's still needs highs and lows put on the French guy. The German's fairly well there, apart from obviously doing different bits and pieces on him, but he's fairly well there. And the Tommy's got a fair bit to go on him. He's had some low points put in. I just find sometimes just put a heavy glaze of black. So well, I wouldn't even call it a glaze. Sometimes it's more like a wash really, because you don't have to put too many applications on it really. But either a thick glaze or a light wash, whatever you want to call it. But I just use pure black and just darken the areas I want to. And I'll be putting another highlight on him. The helmet's going to have a bit more work done to it as well yet. So yeah, there's how far we've got. As I say, I'm chuffed after all this time to actually have this, after Mickey give me him, it was good of him to do that, and to actually get some say of actually getting it done. So that's our Armistice Day, Remembrance Day, group build, second, what do they call it? The second entry. We'll get there at the end. Second entry. As I say, work is progressing slowly but nicely, steadily, as we could say on the main one, the first entry. That's always going to take a lot longer. It's a large figure. It's a mounted figure. So I've got to now. I've stuck and pinned the arms on the. There's no point in me showing it yet because there's just not a lot to show you. But I've put the head on. Obviously, the arms were on yesterday. I've just got to fill. There's a tiny bit of filling needed to be done, and there was a pinhole that needs to be filled. Stuck the tail. Stuck the tail on the donkey. Stuck the tail on the horse. I'd left it purposely off because I knew I needed to get that seam line dealt with, and I just thought, well, I'm going to keep knocking this tail. So that needs all priming. So yeah, we're probably another bit. I don't know. I've got to do a bit more on it before I'm happy to show you guys. So there's actually something to show you rather than just a half primed horse and a non-primed rider. And they've got all the accoutrements to go on the side, and the saddle and everything's got to be primed up. So there's a bit to go on there without really making a video out of it, because there's I'm only showing you not a lot. I decided to keep the sabre without cutting it off and redoing it. Whether I'll regret that, I don't know, but I just thought it's a very thin one. It's not overly bent. If I try and replicate that, am I going to be able to do it? I did the other one on the 54mm, the other 54mm figure. It was there was a bit more substance to that, and you could, I could leave it thicker. So anyway, there's no point talking about stuff you're not looking at. So thanks again to Paul for putting it on. It's good to do something like this. As I say, this is the sandbags have got to have a fair bit more work yet. It was just trying to get them grown. They're not particularly how I'd want to be honest with you, but it is what it is. But hopefully maybe just dress them up a bit more with some stuff, and so I might be throwing a couple of other bits and pieces in here yet. But again, I don't want to overkill it all, because at the end of the day you're just looking at the three figures really. So guys, thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look. I've got a Napoleonic figure video coming up probably Tuesday, with the Tiger tanks all primed at last, and that's going to hopefully be painted on Tuesday as well. Well, start painting on Tuesday anyway, and yeah, we'll just go from there really. Take care of yourselves. Hope all your building and painting projects are going well, and we will catch each other very, very soon on another video. Cheers.